Hello everyone, happy Valentine's Day and all that shit. It's a day late, but didn't have time to do the video yesterday. So, sort of a think critically video. I'd like to encourage this, and I suppose, without sounding arrogant, praise myself for getting out of prior or, patterns of thinking that I used to employ. So I'll start with telling you bullshit I used to believe. Okay, when I was a kid, I would often, get excited about things, as one does, right? And I can remember when I got disappointed if there was a place I was going to and it ended up being closed, or if there was a really cool video game I wanted to play and the console didn't work. I can remember always thinking about these things quite a long time in advance before I actually got to them. And somehow I got it in my head that if I could stop feeling excited and think, oh, it's probably not going to work, or that place is probably going to be shut, that this would actually prevent said event from happening. It's weird, isn't it? But this actually coincidentally happened enough times, and as a kid I didn't really question how ridiculous that was, that my thoughts would actually go out there and actually change the fabric of reality and actually affect things in this way. But there you go, it's what I used to believe. And again, of course, with critical thinking you realize, as I just mentioned, of course my thoughts do not affect reality in such a way that's ridiculous. Secondly, I used to maybe believe in God. I was never fully, pumped up, so sure of it. But, I used to pray, and this is very lame. And not to mention destructive, because I was praying for things like, I hope this person doesn't die, I hope grandma or grandpa dies peacefully, I hope I can be a part of that last moment. Now think about this. Again, we have this nonsense of my thoughts going out and affecting reality, and in this case we have an intercessor. We have God going, "Oh yes, I'll take that prayer and make it so." I had this notion of a micromanaging God. This is quite destructive, because when bad things happen to you, that's a really nasty thing you have out there. You have this idea of an all-powerful God who could answer your prayer, but he isn't, and why is he putting you through this reality? But just as well I relinquish that. Finally, this is a bit shameful. I'm ashamed of this one, because I should have known better at this point. I watched bullshit like What the Bleep Do We Know, and heard about the observation affecting the behavior of an electron, where the electron would behave more like a particle, less like a wave. If you're familiar with the double slit experiment, if you're not, basically what it is, some people fired some electrons through a double slit, and the electrons went through both slits, acting like a wave, and when they observed it, the electrons only went through one slit. I was led to believe two bullshit assertions. For one, that the act of observation was actually a conscious being observing this event, and that's what was changing the behavior of the electron. That's bullshit. What it was is some conductivity charge to the electrons on the gateway they're passing through. That's what's measuring it, and that's what's affecting their behavior. And secondly, that because this happens, this applies to reality, and if you think positively or negatively, you will morph and shape the reality, or you might even pull in good things into your life. And this, that's bullshit, because of course even if it was a case of consciousness affecting reality, which it isn't, but even if it was, and yes, the quantum laws are very different from the reality we live in, that doesn't apply to reality. Just because subatomic particles behave in a very strange way doesn't mean that reality does in the same way. So shame on those people who were, puking out falsehoods. Shame on this New Age movement like The Secret and What the Bleep Do We Know and other such garbage. The second point I was referring to of pulling positive things in was bastardizing quantum entanglement, I think it was, or was it string theory? Where basically there's an interconnection, and if you think about something, the vibrations will go out, and something else, you'll reel it in, some bullshit like that. So, I'm so glad to have relinquished these ways of thinking, and I'm much more critical now. And yes, I would like to encourage that sort of critical thinking. And there's a big difference between saying, I took homeopathic tablets and they made me better, to I took homeopathic tablets and I also got better. We shouldn't be drawing correlations so easily, because you can be but in that particular case you can be swindled into buying, water basically. If I was to wave a magic wand at this water and give it to you, and you then felt better, it would be very wrong of me to suggest, without good evidence anyway, that my powering the water made you better, and then to sell it to you. That would be wrong. So that's just one example. You can get swindled by psychics and proponents of homeopathic remedies, although to be fair, some of these people selling it might sincerely believe in it themselves. But anyway, the point is, think critically, for goodness sake, and if you'd like to tell me some things you used to believe in which you've thought critically about and no longer believe in, feel free to do so. And my arm's about to drop off, so I'm going to end the video on that note. Right. Ta-ta.